Come on, I know we were like, clearly we don't know how to count backwards.
We don't. Everybody's like, 10,
we were like, wait,
9, 8, 7.
It's so good to be here with you all tonight. Come on in the room, Facebook, Instagram. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh, and
YouTube. Yes, we're on YouTube. That's right. Tonight is the first night. Real Talk Wednesday will be on YouTube, which is great. That's a new platform. So if you're familiar with that platform, you know somebody who only uses YouTube, feel free to go check us out.
Share.
Share.
Put your questions below.
But more importantly, stay on to the end because we have some really exciting things to share with you. So this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies. Let me introduce tonight is A Tale of Two Minds, Women's Edition.
Okay.
So last week we had the gentlemen. This week, ladies, you came to conquer.
Yes
we did.
To conquer? Conquer.
Right, done.
Already done. Conquered.
So let's just have a little fun. Let's have a conversation while we let people, make their way in the room.
Okay.
Last week, the gentleman talked about Derek Jackson, how he violated his covenant. And this week, it is Women's Empowerment Month. Let's talk about the wife. Not talk about her, but just address the situation, her in that moment, and how instead of being uplifted, she was actually attacked.
Right. Exactly. Torn down. I mean,
wrong on so many levels.
Right.
I think as a community of sisters and as a community of women, we need to be more uplifting when we know that someone is going through something or a situation like that. There should have been so many people reaching out to pray for her, to encourage her, to say positive things to her, instead of some of the negative things about how she looked and what she needed to do. And in their mind telling themselves, a child, I would have left him, girl. You need to go on. You really don't know what you would do unless you are walking in her shoes in that exact situation. We can imagine all day long and aggrandize how we would handle things. But at the end of the day, anytime anyone is going through something, especially if it's in a marriage, I mean, there's a covenant and things have been broken. I'm telling you, please love on her.
That's true.
Pray for her, encourage her, build her up.
Absolutely.
Never tear down. Don't you agree?
Agreed.
Totally
and
agree.
if you don't know, so what we're talking about is Derek Jackson is a popular blogger, and he had been criticizing someone else regarding their infidelities, and now here he stands. So less about him. The question was about his wife and how she handled it and what she looked like. I mean, she was literally just a bystander in this, but became so much the center of people's discussion. So what do you think about that, Audrey?
I think that, first of all, I applaud her for even, being willing to come out and say anything, because she could have just crept back into a little cave, hid herself away and had no response at all. It takes a lot of courage to face ridicule, but on such a public level.
Absolutely.
But two, I agree with you, Minister Kimberly, and I agree with you, Joni. We really don't know what people's situation is, and especially I'm not married. I'm as single as a dollar bill. Wow. Never been married. But as far as I can see, only those two people that are in that marriage really know the full scope of all the things that went down. So then when we come with all of our opinions, all of our words, all of our advice, all of our what you should have done, what I would do, sometimes that can be overwhelming and discouraging, versus I wonder who DM'd her with encouragement, who hit her up saying, sis, I'm praying for you, not trying to dig for more information, but genuinely interested about caring on her as a person.
Right.
I think I would have liked to see more of that, particularly from the community
Absolutely.
of faith.
Yeah.
Like really being a
From one
community
sister to
another.
Absolutely.
Right.
Uplift.
So, question for you, Katina, is have you ever been in that situation where you've had to give advice to a friend or even comfort a friend in a situation, not necessarily infidelity, but in a situation? How do you go about giving them advice that they can count on versus judging or casting down, their partner or someone else involved?
I think for me, because I do have, as a single woman, I do have married friends. So my stance is because I'm not under that covenant. Like they made a vow before God. Who am I to tell you, you need to leave him? So my response is always going to be, you need to give that back to God and get your direction from God and let God be the person that leads you and directs you under the covenant of your marriage. Like no person can tell you what to do because I'm not in your shoes. And we've all personally been in situations and had relationships to where we've done something dumb. It may not have been public, on the media, but I think we all can say that we have been that one that we would look back and like, girl, you were dumb for that one. So it's like, and it's like, we don't know because we're not walking in her shoes. So it's like, we don't know the weight that is on her. So it's
for
like,
sure. And that's a good question for the audience too. So have you ever been in that situation for guys even? I've often heard guys complain kind of about involvement from maybe their wife's friends in their relationship, like meddling. So guys, have you ever had to deal with that? If you have any questions about it, please let us know. We'd love to be able to field those and follow up with some answers. But then too, for women, just how do you set those boundaries with your friends, whether you're giving advice or even receiving advice? So that's a good question.
But you mentioned the girlfriends, but what about the overly involved parents? Because I know that there are some people where the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, they're just too involved in the situation. And I really believe that once you are in that covenant, I'm not in one, but looking forward to that. But once you're in that covenant, it's between the two spouses. It's the husband and the wife, and that's where the priority happens, and that's where the covenant is made. It's not with your girlfriends. It is not with your parents. You have to look at one another and put each other first, and everybody else has to take a back seat. And if they can't support you, you may have to rearrange some of your friendships.
That's real good. And so, just to be really quick with our introductions, I feel like we probably have a full room now. So you are?
I am Kimberly Savage, part of the ministerial staff here at Linked Up Church.
And I'm Joni. I'm part of the support staff here.
And I'm Katina, also a part of the support staff.
Adriana, also a part of the support staff.
But also praise and worship, don't forget.
And we're all part of the beautiful club.
That's right.
Hey.
Hi. So good point about parents being overly involved. And I would say one of the things for me that I have learned, especially since being here, following, our pastor's guidance, is just how important it is that when you do get married, you leave your parents. You no longer have that level of influence, but
leave and cleave.
Right. But that's such a hard, I know I have a really close family. I'm very close with my brother, my mom, and that's great. And then there's also a detriment to it. So how do you all handle that as well? Like just your parental involvement. So is that something you've ever had to deal with? Ladies?
Well, my parents, they both are deceased, but I'm really close to my twin sister. And even in my relationship, what the love of my life often tells me, he said, we're not trying to compete on the same level because your twin is your twin and I am your man. So he says we have 1 and 1A, and we both know where we are. So because it's a totally different relationship. And he doesn't feel like he needs to compete with her. And I agree because I can love them both the same because they both add something different to my life.
Yeah.
Love you, honey.
So just speaking from my experience, because I am very close with my brother, he's married. So also encouraging my family along to kind of let my brother be a husband and not taking on such a role in how she parents or what she decides to do, because that's the same level of scrutiny, I would say, that Derek Jackson's wife was under, whether she's on a public stage or really in private, at dinner, at a family reunion, at a family gathering, sometimes people can be really critical in that way. So
Okay, so I love how you all like just looked at me.
We're ready.
This is a question that came in last week. I asked the gentleman off the live. I asked them, later, and I posted. But I want to know how you will answer. So this is exactly how the question came in.
Okay.
Bae hugs BF for too long. BF inhales deeply during the embrace. Who I'm checking?
I am checking Bae. It sounds like Bae is my significant other and BF is my best friend. A lot of times I find that women will get catty and they're real anxious to go after the woman, like, how dare you? But if I'm in this relationship, I think that person and I, we're working on some things, and that's where the boundary of trust starts first. Now, my best friend, she should really, really know better. But I am in a relationship with Bae that might lead to something else. And I need to talk to him first before I go after her, because she can only do what he will allow.
Very true.
Woo.
That's good.
My God.
You have something to say.
No, I don't have nothing to say. So these are my thoughts. I agree with that totally, completely. But I'm probably that person that's checking both of them. But I do
She
think
said who first, but
Yeah,
they
but
both gonna
who
get
first?
it.
I
But you-
actually have a
Oh, it
different
just says who
answer.
you checking? Yeah, so for me, it's definitely a combo. It's a 1-2 punch. But the one is with the guy,
Right.
because we have to have a conversation. You said a key word there, Minister Kimberly, about boundaries. That's just unacceptable. And if you're seriously trying to build something with me, not trying, if you're seriously building something with me, that's a violation of boundaries to even allow that kind of exchange or interaction. You want to
But
protect
an
that.
inhale, y'all. I mean, my answer is that I ain't checking now one on, because I'm like, I would actually observe. Like, I would want to know a little bit more, because anything can happen. You never know. Maybe they hug too tight and they inhaled or exhaled.
Are they hugging too
But
tight,
I'm
though?
gonna be.
But she said that the embrace was a little bit long.
Yeah,
and
y'all
there was
embracing,
an
like, I missed you.
exhale.
An embrace
I don't know.
and a hug.
That's
not the same.
But that's really
Exactly.
I
I
don't
think
know,
so.
unless with more context. If it were one time, I'm not checking no one. I'm just going to be observing and understanding what went on.
Actually, Joni, I see that.
I see that, but I think I'm going to ask some questions. It may not be a check, but I'm definitely going to ask some questions so that he can understand what I'm thinking. So I can give the opportunity for correction. And then if it happens again.
Exactly, because that's how you learn and grow together. You set boundaries. So if I had never set that boundary for him or for her before, this could be new Bae.
No.
Then you have to know,
that's sticky.
I don't know. I
I
think that there are some things. How does the saying go? What is understood doesn't need to be said. Okay.
Very true.
And then,
Very
within
true.
my circle, we have like a girl code. So it's like like you said, it was, we don't have to talk about it. We just know that code is there, and it's just like certain rules and stuff that
Certain
we have.
rules,
So,
like you don't
Right.
get
But if I am introduced to your girl code and your girl code has 10 rules, well, I come from a different girl code. We might have 9 rules. I gotta learn
this is your
friend.
best.
You're the best friend. Like,
This is your best
You're my
friend.
best
The
friend.
best
girl
friend knows
that you
what's
called.
up. Yes.
This is the girl you called when you met him.
Right.
This is the girl you called when he asked you out. This is the girl you called
And you
when he
probably
kissed you.
told her too much of y'all business, so she feel like, who knows, she can hug him a little bit more.
No, that's not a
I
friend.
got
That's
my
a
exhale
with my babe. We're not waiting to exhale. We're gonna need to exhale.
I think that, and then the last thing I say about that, because Joni, you said if I never set that boundary, I think it's, for me personally, I think it's critical for you to have your own boundaries. I feel like I shouldn't have to, as a man, I'm not setting your boundaries for you.
There you go.
That should be a
Observe.
boundary.
Right.
That should be a boundary you have inside of yourself.
True.
That when I'm building something with someone, I would never violate that because that's my
That's
boundary.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So observe. So you
Yeah.
continue to get a habitual line crosser, then that's not someone who's willing to change and dedicate and devote to you. You know, that's how I would perceive it. But good answer, Steve. Girl code, but
Georgia
different.
said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
You want to finish up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, Georgia said,
Hey, Georgia!
That's my grandma's name. Hey, Georgia girl.
she
That's
said,
my
I'm
friend.
sending Bay to talk to Pastor G.
Oh,
Yes.
round
That's
of applause.
She's like,
My
what's
God.
up? What's
But we
up?
promise not to have a line at your door, Pastor G, but we will go there.
You know. My God.
Okay.
That was a
Okay,
good
you
question.
ready?
Yes.
My significant other isn't listening when I give advice. However, when they get advice from other people, it's the same advice I gave and they listen. Is that disrespectful?
Poor
Mm.
communication, I think.
So that's like, let me give you an example. I mean, I guess I did it just
We
for
all
viewers.
do it. We all
Yeah,
do
we did
it.
it. We started doing it with our
Even
parents.
with,
That's when we first did it.
Parents and children.
Yeah.
How often have the parent shared something with one of their children and the child seems to not listen, and then they get it from an outside source? Maybe it's all in the delivery or the tone or some other things whereby you believe it's not received, but I wouldn't automatically take it as disrespect. Let's talk about the way that we communicate. Maybe there's some self-work that we need to do. Read a book, his needs, her needs, marriage boundaries, and just really do the homework so that we can learn each other rather than jumping to conclusions.
I like that.
I do too.
From a parenting perspective, so I have a 10-year-old boy, and often living what I say is important. Like, I can't say be kind to this person and then be unkind. You know, children really do watch. And I know growing up, that was one of the challenges that I had. Like, I esteem a lot of values from people who actually did what they said, but I more so butted heads with people who, you know, do as I say, not as I do. That never, you know, quite set well with me as a child.
I think that's good. And well, we never really think about that in terms of like relation, you know, like a significant other. But I think that same principle works when it's your significant other. Not to say that you're doing this, but we're just talking generally. Like, if I'm giving my significant other advice that I'm not doing, they may be less, you know,
True.
they may be less inclined to actually listen to what I'm saying. But I agree with you, Minister Kimberly. I don't think it's necessarily a sign of disrespect. I think it could potentially be an opportunity to work on your communication, because like what was said, it could be the way that you're delivering it. It also could be the way that person is hearing it from you. There may be some other underlying issues that you need to talk about that's affecting the way your significant other is receiving the information that you're giving. So,
And to add to that, it's like timing is important too. So
yes.
if we're like at the height of an argument and both of us are heated, I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm want to get my
your point across.
Yeah, it's like what you say, how you say it, and timing is imperative
That's
when
so
we
good.
have conflict.
Yeah, that is key.
that's good.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, and let your advice, because it says that he never listens to me. Already, I see that as a problem, because when you say never, that means 100% of the time. So you need to erase that. And let's make sure on both sides that our advice isn't nagging. Because remember, advice is a suggestion to do something. And you're giving me the opportunity to either go that route or consider my own path. So just because I don't do it doesn't mean I'm not considering it.
Good point.
That's
I
good.
like that.
I like that too.
Do we have another question?
Yeah. Were you ready? It looks like you were about to ask.
No.
You guys are doing so great.
Come on.
Okay, so this one, okay.
Deep breath.
It doesn't specify who, if it's a male or a woman,
Okay.
male or female. It just says that we just had a baby. It doesn't seem to be working out. I'm assuming it's from a guy, because it says, if I leave, I may not be able to see the baby, but I'm not happy.
Wow.
What should I do?
Who we?
Well, it says what should we, so I like that it's
Said,
we.
what should we do?
So a lot of assumptions there, but from a ministerial standpoint, let's
From a-
start with you.
Okay, from a ministerial standpoint, I would say the first thing is to have a mediator, and I would suggest counseling. But when you decide upon counseling, think about what you want to get from that session. What are the top two things that you need to work on? Not a whole laundry list, and already you're thinking of that way out. And I would say, change your attitude and think about what could be done to fix it, and never make a decision without trying to get help from spiritually and professionally. Get some help for your marriage. Just don't make the decision to leave the marriage without allowing someone to speak to your life, and then pray and really believe that God can help you through any situation.
That's really good. So, and I know that the question didn't necessarily specify
If they were
marriage
married
or not, but that's exactly why, from your perspective, it's so good to hear that, because marriage helps avoid many of those issues, right? Having a baby without being married first kind of opens you up to that.
Well, if you are having a baby and you're not married, you still have to think about some things. But at the end of the day, if you are married, get counseling. If you're not married, get counseling. You know why?
Hello.
Because that counseling may help you to work on some things in that relationship, and it may lead to marriage. But at the end of the day, this is still a situation that needs counseling, because that child still needs a healthy set of parents.
Yeah.
And we don't want anybody to get into punishing one parent or another, and that child not be able to see one of you. A child needs two parents in a healthy relationship, married or not. But we love marriage. We hope you're married, but if you're not, don't beat yourself up, and think about what you're going to do to help that situation become better.
Exactly. So, and I can speak from a perspective of being a co-parent. I don't, that was one priority for me and for my ex-husband, was that we together had a child. And so making his life comfortable and having a co-parenting relationship that was healthy was of the utmost importance. So, someone poured into us at the beginning of our divorced life, if you will, that it doesn't matter if you fight, whether your child sees you fight or not, they will feel
the tension.
that
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I'm thankful that I love my son enough. He loved my son enough, and just I had enough direction in life to say, I don't want to fight. And, I'm thankful that we have a healthy co-parenting relationship. I mean, there are certain things that, we don't necessarily agree on. He started back school today. That wasn't something that we agreed on, right? But I felt that was time, and I had to make that decision. And at the same time, my co-parent had to understand that I was making that decision now, and you can't control what I do because we're not in that covenant anymore. So you just have to ride with me at that point. So,
and to speak as a child who my parents got divorced, I think I was 10 maybe. But I'm so grateful for my mother and my father and the way they did this thing. I have people that went to college with me it's so funny that sometimes they tell me, we forget your parents are divorced, because everything I did, my parents both showed up for me. Not showed up in drama, not showed up in anger or angst.
Right.
They showed up in support and joy. They were definitely the parents calling each other. Okay, what time does it start? Okay, we'll be there at this time. And then even as I transitioned older, and I have a bonus mom who I adore and love. And y'all, she can cook like nothing else. My God. But and she's sweet as pie. But now I get this little conglomeration of parents who have worked well together. When I have my birthday dinners, when I have my family dinners, everyone is there. So just be encouraged that it is possible to be in a healthy co-parenting situation where the child feels love from both sides, and there's not always
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
And a chicken nugget on the side. Please do not use the child as a weapon against either parent. Even when it comes to child support, do not withhold that relationship because you're not getting your money. The child still needs to have relationship with both parents.
Exactly.
Amen, for sure.
Amen.
That's good.
Okay, we got a really good question, ladies.
Uh-oh.
So,
Katina, because it's really good.
It's really good.
Katina.
Really
My
smart.
God.
so this is from a woman, and she's saying that in her adult life, basically her friendships are changing. She's not really there with her older friends. I mean, the friends that she had prior, and she's realizing that while she's maturing and growing, they're stagnant, and she's trying to maneuver through that. What advice would you give on the whole, new friends and old friends and
I think we all know to start with Katina for that one.
Minister Savage has a discerning spirit, and that was right down my alley. So,
My God.
right now, it's like I'm at a point in my life where, I had to assess all of my relationships because my relationship with Christ takes precedence over any relationship, and I'm willing to sever ties if God tells me to do so. So I had a best friend for about 20 years. We just weren't equally yoked, and it's just like she wasn't on board with who I was becoming in Christ. So, I heard God tell me, this relationship isn't for you. And it was another one, 20 something years as well, that God was like, okay, these don't serve you anymore because they're not helping you to be, where you are. It's like they're pulling you back. When you try to go, they're reminding you of the past. So it's like, you have to put God first. And then God has given me my admin circle, which are, awesome women of God. So he will send the replacements, but you have to be willing to let go what he tells you is not working and trust him that he has something better for you on the way.
Yeah. That's real good.
That's
Yes.
so good, Katina.
Yes.
That was for you.
Just like finding yourself and growing into the person who Christ would have you to be. One thing I think I have, we're at the point, we share this, Katina, that you have friends and then you have real friends, right? Like I have friends, but I've never, I have friends who have called me in the middle of the night to move, who asked me to babysit on the drop of a dime. And those are I've been through things with them, right? And then I just have friends who, they might be just someone that you are cordial with or something. And I find that the people who you really love, you really go there with. And if you can get on the other side of that, it just strengthens your relationship. Pastor Gregory says all the time, conflict is healthy.
Yes.
So, that's a good thing, right? When you can have that growth moment or even that moment of separation, and then for you to just come back and be respected, I feel like that's someone who really loves you, and that's who falls to, that's the cream that rises to the top in your friend circle.
And I believe even Jesus had a circle
Come
within
on,
his circle.
Just thinking that.
So some folks are on the outer court. That means you can hang out, have dinner, and do some things with. But when you're really going through something or God is causing you to grow up in some areas of your life, you will find that circle becomes smaller because your confidence can't be 120 people. You have to even go in between or among the 12 to pick out the 3.
Yes. That's
Keep
good.
your circle small. It's wonderful to love everybody, but everybody doesn't need to be in your business.
Right.
And when you are growing, you will have those shoulders, those sisters who are really there. Like you said, that you go through something with, that cream rises to the top.
Yep.
Additionally, I'll say this for all you scripture buffs out there, okay, is that you will know when a friend is ready and prepared to grow with you, because even your rebuke will be like love to them. What Jesus said to Peter when he was explaining to the disciples that I have to go, I have to be crucified. Now, Peter, bless his soul, was in his flesh, he was in his feelings when he said, Messiah, no, that's not going to happen to you. But of course, we all know on the other side of that, thousands of years later, but that Jesus was speaking the will of God. He was on the path that God intended for him. He had to turn around to his homie, one of the 3, and say, get thee behind me, Satan. for you are a stumbling block to me, to one of the three. Now, of course, we know that Peter, after Jesus died, Peter goes on to be one of the greatest disciples that we know, and his shadow was healing people, correct? Yes. And so he fell even deeper in love with Jesus and began to carry his mantle after that tension. So what they're saying is that when there is that tension and you find a friend who's able to put their flesh aside and walk in the spirit with you for the glory of God, for whatever that is on your life, that's when you know this is a kingdom covenant friend. And then also to encourage you on the other side is that if there are people that you have to let go, it's not because you don't love them, it's because you're not going to the same place.
Yeah.
And that's always okay. Painful, but okay.
And also, like, again, I said, you have those friends who you need something. Can you take me to the airport? I need to pick my car up? Anything, who knows? You have those friends, but then it's important to make time for people who you care. I think it was you the other day who you said, I carve out time for my friend and spend time with them. And that's really important. So it's important to not just have that, I'm in the trenches with you moment with those friends. So, we're going to be at Unmasked together.
Enjoy some time.
That's
and
true.
love.
And
it's not just the crying moments.
Exactly.
It's those happy making memory
Yes.
moments.
I love
as
to
well.
laugh, honey. Let's
I know.
keep all
And
day.
so we are going to be at Unmasked, and this will be like our first girls trip. Now we will be working. We will be making the experience fantastic
be
for
working.
you ladies.
Yes.
But Unmasked, of course, the Unmasked Women's Getaway is in September. It's September 7th through 10th.
Yeah.
If you've paid already and you need to finish paying out your fees, do it today. But seriously, you can still, the 2020 rates are still active because as you know, it's postponed from last year.
Yeah.
It's happening this year. And like,
it is happening.
Correct.
Did you hear that?
And
happening.
we said, and we were just talking prior to starting and saying how Unmasked was already anointed. So I know this experience is going to be powerful because it was called Unmasked before we had to wear masks. Like, we are going to discover and understand so much about each other, whether we're working or not. But please, roommates, if you have a roommate, please pay your deposit today and join us. Yes, we want to see you there. But so Pastor Trish will be hosting.
Yes.
Dee Dee Freeman as
Ooh,
well.
love her.
Real Talk Kim.
We love her too.
Yes, we love Real
We
Talk
love
Kim.
everybody, and we know
And
y'all
who else?
love Miranda
Curtis.
the one, the only.
Yes, because we're standing under an open heaven, and
My
you
God.
should join us at the Unmasked Conference.
So, but for more information about it, ladies, I know you're watching, but also to the husbands, it's a good gift. She needs to
Mother's
get
Day
away.
coming up.
Mother's
Day is coming up.
But it'll be the
Good.
gift that keeps giving. Sow a seed, and I promise you'll continue to reap a harvest.
That's
My
right.
God.
Do it today.
Give this lady her own commercial, okay? We have another question.
Listen, I'm excited
We got
about
another
it.
question, y'all.
Yes. Oh.
Y'all are having
I went to
fun.
the
We having a ball.
I
Okay.
went to the resort. It's fabulous. I mean, when we went down there to check it out, it was really, really nice. And we already had a mini Unmasked while we were planning. So yeah, let's go.
We're excited,
Okay,
y'all.
so this will be this is a good question because this is coming from a single lady.
Woody woo woo woo!
And
My
you all
God.
are single
Single,
ladies.
single. Everybody's
Wow.
single here.
So her question is she's getting ready to get into dating. It's been a while and she just needs some advice. She asked the question last week and I think she got the man's perspective. So this week she wants the woman's perspective, especially since she is older and single. So I feel like you guys can actually, she didn't say her age, but I feel like you guys could, speak to that. So give her some advice.
Older and single. Oh, it's interesting pairing that, like, even as a qualifier, right? Like, I'm older and single. Like, why not just single?
Why not?
Why not just single?
Because maybe I think because I am older that there are slim pickings. And we hear all the time how there's a shortage of men. But honey, you need to believe that you only need one.
Amen.
The one.
Oh,
and
you
that's
do.
it. But I would say
Jesus.
stop focusing so much on finding that one or being found, and get out there and love yourself
Confidence
and
is
enjoy
sexy.
life. Confidence is real
That's what Pastor
sexy.
Trish said.
Like,
Yes.
go to some places where there are men. I'm not talking about bars, but open yourself up to say hi to someone in the grocery
Linked up
store. Go to the gym, but I also have to say, if someone says hello to you, you also have to show yourself friendly. You also have to make sure if someone speaks to you and they're indicating interest, you can't start quoting scriptures or be such a prude. No, you cannot. You cannot start quoting scriptures and win them away. And I can say that because I have been closed off for such a long time. And I said, I made this in a comment. Pastor Trish actually told me, she said, don't be a prude, MK. And what she was really letting me know is, don't be a prude. That means that you have to show, if somebody expresses interest, you have to give a signal or at least let them know, yes, I'm approachable.
Yes.
I can tell you, my sweetheart, when he was interested in me, he told me in 2 weeks, I might be hitting on you.
Oh, he said,
and I know that meant that he was going to go pray and find out if he needed to.
And in the meantime,
but in the meantime,
she got that house plan.
not any of that, but I did let him know that I was interested.
That's nice.
And 17 months later, we're
So,
still interested.
hey,
Hold that hand up.
Hold that hand up.
So look.
Won't he do it?
Okay, I have something. So one day I was on a walk. We were walking. So this was when it was nicer outside and we were going up the mountain, right?
Yeah.
And I was with Pastor Trish and Minister Diane. I was talking about how one time I had encouraged somebody, like I said, oh girl, you should go outside. He kind of cute. And I think I made them embarrassed. And both of them were like, these women need to know that sometimes you might have to climb into the bed of your husband and just talk through or make yourself available, right? And like I was like,
I'm sorry.
that is true. No, that is true. You have to make yourself available. Like you can't be so closed off that no one wants to get to know you. Be friendly on the on the front end, because
she's referencing Ruth, guys.
Yes, Ruth.
Yes, but
Thank
listen, I'll take a
But I
job
can't say a
any
Bible
day.
verse when I see him, though. No, I'm just kidding. She's referencing Ruth. Okay,
But
continue.
everybody talks about the Ruth and Boaz story, and yes, it is beautiful, but we forget that he died the next day.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart. But anyway, can we talk about, he had a lot of money, but can we talk about a mature Joseph? What about a mature Joseph? Remember, he had enough wisdom to lead a kingdom. He went through some hardships with his family, disowning him, selling him into slavery. He forgave them. So forgiveness is important in any relationship. Wisdom is important in any relationship. And he was also faithful. When Pharaoh's wife threw herself at him, he ran away instead of trying to,
My God.
So what about Joseph?
We got into the book on that.
We got to come back around to the question, though.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I was like, because we did. This is my fault. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm a Bible nerd. Praise God.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead,
Katina, you bringing us home. What was the question again?
The question was, how is she getting
how to get back into dating?
How to get back into dating?
Confidence
She's
is
qualifying
sexy.
herself
And single.
as older and single. Hit us.
So as someone who's, because I'm 40, so I would like to say I'm older.
Younger.
Considered.
You're young.
You're mature in
young.
grace.
Young.
My God.
Young.
Okay, well I'm young.
Yes.
But older. Okay. So I would say, like, for me, it's like I don't take anything personal because I know that God is preparing me for one man, not multiple men. So just keep in mind that you're going to meet people that you may like, that you may want to rush the process and say, okay, this is the one. Like he has enough, characteristics and qualities that he could be the one. But if God doesn't deem that person to be the one, then you have to be okay with, that's not my person and that's not my one. And that's what helps me wait well. Like, I know that I focus on the promise and not my surroundings.
Yes.
We say that all the time.
That's
Wait.
right.
When
And
I
don't
think,
fall
too,
for the counterfeit.
Lord,
Because they are coming.
I was
Been
about
there,
to
done
say,
that.
Yeah, I'm 30, which unfortunately in the South in particular, is considered older. I've never been married. I have no children, right? So for me, I agree with you, Katina, definitely like getting, and I'll be honest with y'all. I be trying to like sort of kind of get out here and date kind of, okay? But one thing that I'm reminding myself in my process is that I don't have to become what they want.
Mm-hmm.
No. I am becoming more and more of my best self.
Yes.
Which Christ, my relationship with Christ
All the time.
and very strong, solid accountability helps me do.
Yep.
And so in that process of just knowing, like when I feel myself, because I have a slight people pleasing thing, a little type A
We
thing.
all do.
We all
I mean,
do.
that's normal.
But when I catch
wanna be
myself
liked?
trying to do
Yeah.
that and or over processing, wanting to be liked, why don't they like me, or why don't they like me as much as them? I'm like, that may not be the right person for me because I'm feeling anxious. And I'll give you this word that I'm saying to myself on a regular basis: you are not too much for the right person.
That's right.
For the right. And my sister Nas encouraged me today, praise the Lord, that you're even if you are a lot, you are not too much for the right
Yes.
person.
That's right. You
So
are enough.
as
Single
you're
ladies.
dating, you know, if it's feeling a little, you feel yourself being anxious, no,
Yeah.
anxiety's not from the Lord. You may have to be like, bye, thanks for dinner.
And just for a roll call, so all the single ladies, put a little praise hand or fist or something. Raise your hand in the chat so we can know.
What you
We
doing?
can say,
No.
I was doing the song.
Oh.
yeah, no, we were just.
And then
kinda-
also too, like to piggyback on what she said, to wrap it up, like God is not the author of confusion. If you're dating someone, it's just like so much confusion. You can't, you don't find
Correct.
peace, and it's just like you're uneasy. It's like uncertainty.
Yeah,
then
for
you need
sure.
to take that back. To
Like
God
if you
and
gotta
ask God
study
what it is.
inhale from Bay and BF, then that's confusion to me. And that's why I'm overlooking it, because I cannot study. I don't study breaths. Okay. Oh, I'm just saying.
Yeah, Joni felt that in her heart. That was passion right there. I think we're closing. Are we closing it
So
out?
I just want to shout out It's Mish 1908. She put up her hand. Easy Breezy put up her hand.
Hey, that's my best
Hey.
friend. What?
Destiny Eldon put up her hand. Abel Brown put up her hand.
Hey.
Tina Earth Angel put up her hand.
What's up? That's music
What's
department.
up?
See, I'm loyal to my people. Praise
All the
God.
single ladies. That's good.
That's good.
So it's
Okay,
good.
on Facebook we got KLS Clumley.
Yeah, so this is now we're
Sorry.
entering into a covenant. So we building each other up. If you putting your hand up, this is the ladies' covenant now.
Listen,
That's
we here for
me,
you.
Miss Green.
What's up?
Hey,
Hey.
She put her hands up. So
Listen, stop me. I don't want to say y'all, but hey, you see me at church. If you're coming to the building, stop me. Tell me who you are. Like, I'm willing to pray with you. I'm willing to provide accountability, whatever it is. We're a community, seriously.
She
So-
just started a connect group. But
I did.
She
in
just
her
started a
head.
connect
In
group.
her head. I
But no,
started-
seriously, at Linked Up Church, if you are not in a connect group,
You
like,
need to get in one.
step
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
3, 4, 2. Step 2, connect your family.
But you can
Sorry.
get in the connect group at any time. And you don't
Anytime.
even have to be a
The
member
member of
of
Linked
this
Up Church.
church.
Right.
Just go to our website and look for that.
Correct. That's how I
Correct.
became a member. Was I started in my connect group first, and I made relationships there. Hey, Georgia.
Hey. Okay.
undefeated, you guys.
Oh, okay. We're sorry, y'all. We're new to this. Praise the Lord. I should know better. But listen, thank you for joining us tonight. We do have a few quick announcements. Before we go, we got about 2 minutes, and I'm good at talking fast. Straight up, y'all better be here for Undefeated
Undefeated weekend.
The
Yes.
concert is on Friday with Colton, Garvey, Corinne.
Who is
It's gonna
Corinne?
be hot.
You gotta sing it. Just a line. Just so we
What?
know. Corinne.
No, they be trying to trick me, y'all.
Come
Y'all know the
on.
song. Won't he do it?
Said he would.
Fight the battles for you.
You
All right,
gonna
now
wonder
go,
why you
now go
sleep at
down.
night,
low
won't
her
he do
music
it?
and support her. Joni trying to be on the
This
praise
my,
team.
yes.
But yes,
I'm
so-
auditioning all the time.
Literally. We'll do a blooper reel of that. Okay. But yes, so that's Friday. It's going to be power packed. It's going to be amazing. So we hope that you guys are either watching it online because we are streaming or joining us in the building. Saturday is our family fun day. We've got rides and
Bring the
games
kids.
for
Bring the kids.
Bring
It's
your
gonna be
Bring your
cousins.
neighbors. sisters, your
your
cousin,
mama,
your
your
niece.
Do not hide them on this weekend,
It's the
okay?
auntie corner. I'm trying to get it all out, and they interrupted me. Praise God. Yes. So yes, like I said, bring your auntie, bring your mama, bring your cousin, bring your friend, bring them kids that's always at your house eating your snacks. Bring all of them.
Why
on
do kids
Saturday.
always know where your snacks
No. Okay, look, and then finally on Sunday, we have 2 live services. And it's gonna be lit. Yes, I'm plugging the praise team. We ready for y'all.
Yes,
The music
yes.
is gonna be fire. The entire presentation is gonna be so well put together and meaningful. So we hope that you'll
And
be
don't
here.
forget, we will also have water baptism for those
Woo!
of you
Yes.
who would
Wanna
like to
make
do
that
so on
Yes.
Sunday,
Yes.
right after the second service. So make sure you check out our webpage and sign up for that.
Yes, water baptism
Yes.
is a way to
And as we
publicly-
close out, unmasked.
Oh,
Unmasked. We have until
unmasked.
11:59.
Oh yeah, you do.
Don't miss out.
Yeah, don't miss
You.
out.
Don't miss out. Joni did a whole plug
Thank
for
you.
Unmasked.
For
But
Unmasked,
yes, you
yes.
have until 11:59 tonight to lock
Tonight?
in that tonight.
Yeah, but
Tonight
let me
is the
tell
night.
y'all what the schedule is going to be. So on Tuesday, September 7th, all day recreation and relaxation. You're going to be checking in. There will be a welcome reception and then unmasking
relaxation.
with Pastor Trish. It's the relaxation for her.
For me, too.
Unmasking, like literally and figuratively. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have Real Talk Him. There will be a pre-service experience. It will be great. And then on Thursday, September 9th, the masquerade ball and dinner. So get dressed
It's
up. When
also
was the
my
last time you got
birthday.
dressed up? And like,
I get dressed
you know,
up
did
every
all of
day.
this. Dr. Dee Dee Freeman will be the speaker, and then musical guest Miranda Curtis. And then on Friday, a sunrise prayer because,
Oh, beautiful.
yes, we're
You
going to
don't wanna
send
miss
you
that.
off in prayer, okay?
Yeah.
Amen.
I just got goosebumps thinking about it, like for real. So,
I mean, you've been waiting for that time to
12:59.
get rejuvenated.
11:59.
11:59.
Don't listen to
No,
me.
no,
Otherwise,
no.
you miss the price.
You gonna miss
gonna
it.
be
go ahead, go ahead.
You gonna
Listen,
miss the shit.
Listen, 11:55.
can you even,
11:55.
Right
log in.
now.
It's gonna take you 3 minutes
Right
to.
now.
ladies, you have time, okay? Put that on.
You have
You
time.
have time.
But
Okay, so, so this is it. This
Also
was
about the
really,
unmasked
this
people.
was really
I got it.
fun.
this was
This
fun.
was really
Thank you all for joining
fun.
us.
Yes, thank y'all.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Have